Janet Morley, aka also known as Grandma Ba. Today I'm speaking to you from our kitchen in sunny Phoenix, Arizona, where I'm going to share little tips and tricks for your culinary upgrades. And the reason for doing this is all because I'm adding to this blog that I created for my grandkids. It's a legacy that I'm leaving them. It's called GrandmaBaa.com. And you can see the background to why it is that I'm leaving this legacy, a grandmother's vision, teaching the art and science of holistic lifestyles to heirs of our planet. When you go online and check it out. And there is a story behind that. But today's tricks and tips have to do with living green, sustainability, but also holistic cooking. And that's all about my little friends, these wonderful herbs to the left and right of me. And they all have something in common. They are from a singular family called the mint family, the Labataya, I think it is. Anyway, most of us have a lot of these already present in our yard. They include lavender and mint and rosemary, basil, thyme, oregano, all the common herbs that we've come to know and love and expect in most of our cooking and a lot of our cosmetics, just part of our daily lives. So what I'm sharing today is, I hope, a few little new things that maybe you didn't know about this wonderful family of herbs. First of all, that it is in fact a family and that it has so many medicinal properties that are used in cosmetics, they're used in homeopathics, they're used in all kinds of medicinal preparations because they're antimicrobial and they're nutrient dense. So what I try to do with all my cooking is add not only as much flavor, but also as much nutrition that I can to each and every meal, each and every bite that I put it in my mouth. And that's what I'm teaching my children, and that's the reason for GrandmaBaa.com. So let's start with a few of the usages. These are all, like I say, from my garden. I've struggled a little bit being in Arizona with 111 type degree temperatures in growing tomatoes. Even squashes and melons haven't really thrived, but the herbs have. So I've kind of taken that as a lead that I should focus on that. So what I do, I try to use them as much as possible fresh, and basil especially is very hard to preserve other than keeping it fresh, and it's very simple to do just simply by leaving it in clean filtered water and changing that every day. And I find that I can keep it like this as much as maybe 4 or maybe 5 days, depending on temperature. But it's so easy just to snip, and I have about 6 different kinds of basil. There are in fact 150 species, varieties, but I have 6. And they all have in common this little flower. Here's the flower on the basil, flower on mint. All of them have this little flower. And they're also nutritious. I put those along with the leaves into smoothies. I try to make us smoothies every day with all the local available fruits and vegetables, and adding a little bit of basil, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of oregano, any of this mint family into the mix not only flavorizes it, but of course nutritionalizes it. So that's part of it. Add to the smoothie for daily kinds of upgrades to your cooking. And then we all know about the sauces, and that includes pesto, grinding your herbs, putting it in with a little bit of, I soak and dehydrate my pine nuts, any nuts, and then I make a lovely pesto out of that. The other kinds of fun things you can do with basil is add it to your ice cubes and just water, and then it's all ready to go to add to any kind of sauce or soups or stews, and it still maintains that freshness. The other thing that I just learned about, and I have yet to try it, but I use Kerrygold butter because it's from grass-fed cows, so they're very fresh and wholesome. I really stress with my grandkids that they use as much whole foods, organic as possible. Anyway, you put cut up your little snipped basil, wrap that all together, make a log, and voila, you can add that to soups and stews and any other maybe little crackers. I'll share tips on paleo crackers in a future blog. So then the last thing, oh, actually it's not the last thing, there's all kinds of other things, but tea, of course, we're all familiar with herbal teas. And this is another kind of basil. I've yet to be successful in trying to raise it. One of these days I will, but it really is probably the most nutritious. And I have a healthcare provider, Vimal Patel, who said all the Indian people use this, and truly it is the most nutritious. Tulsi, or it's called holy basil. So keep trying to grow that in your yard. The last thing that I do is I make an herbal bouquet. So that takes in addition, all these wonderful herbs. I put them in this muslin and wrap them up and tie it up, and using string, I put this all tied together with all of these wonderful herbs into soups and stews. And of course the bouquet lends all those wonderful savory flavors to all that I make in the crock pot or on top of the stove or in the oven. You can't beat it, it's delicious. So I hope those are just a few tips on the wonderful healthy mint family. And here's to your good health, here's to excitement. Live, love holistically. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to bring you more tips in the kitchen. Talk to you soon.